su permiso, señor comisario. Disculpe si vengo tan mal entrasado. Yo soy forastero y he caído al Rosario, trayendo a los tientos un buen entripao. ¿Acaso usted piense que soy un matrero? Yo soy gaucho honrado.
A la luz del candil, a recording of Carlos de Sarli from 1956.
At the light of an oil lamp. May I have your permission, Mr. Inspector? Forgive me if I come so wrecked. I'm an outsider and dropped by Rosario, shouldering a good plight. Perhaps you think that I'm a fugitive. I'm an honorable gaucho through and through. I'm neither a drunkard nor am I a rustler. Mr. Inspector, I'm a criminal. Arrest me, Sergeant, and chain me up. If I am a culprit, may God forgive me. I have been a good criollo. My name is Alberto Arenas. Sir, they betrayed me, and I killed them both. My woman was evil. My friend was a knave. When I went elsewhere, the faithless abused me. The proof of the infamy I bring in my case. The braids of my woman and his heart. Don't ring me, Sergeant, for I won't resist. I want them to know the grand truth. The night was dark like a wolf's mouth, lone witness, an oil lamp's light. In some, almost nothing, a kiss in the shadow, two bodies fell and a curse. And there, Inspector, if it won't surprise you, I found two sheaths for my dagger.
Welcome to our episode number 57 of Around the World in 80 Tangos. And this is quite a tough lyric. So for everybody who thought this piece is a romantic one, sorry, it's not.
It's about a cozy massacre.
The singer is
Jorge Duran.
And I think his voice is perfect for this song.
Yeah, it suits perfect to this amazing recording. He was with Carlos de Sarli twice in the 40s and again in the last ensemble of Carlos de Sarli in the 50s. And he was quite unusual because he appeared in the de Sarli setup as a bass baritone. In this time, the usual singer was a tenor. And so he gained his nickname El Cajon, which can be a trunk, can be also a coffin, because of his deep, profound voice.
And the piece is from 1926, and it's recorded in the first year 7 times.
Yeah, this is an amazing success. I think we never had it. It's normal that in the beginning, like the usual suspects like Canaro and Gardel would grab the number, but in this case, it's much more. So it starts with Ignacio Corsini. The following year, Gardel recorded it twice, then Canaro, Lo Muto, Firpo, Fresedo, everybody.
And of course, in the 40s and in the 50s, Carlos de Sarli recorded it twice with 2 different singers.
Yeah, Mario Pomar in 52 and our recording with Jorge Duran.
The lyric is from Julio Placido Navarine.
Yeah, this guy was not very famous as a poet, so his lyrics had a popular approach, not of the biggest quality, but they did their job.
The music is written by Carlos Vicente Garoni Flores, and he was a big talent. He was born in 1895, and he started his musical career very early.
Yes, when he was a young boy, he was studying with a stipendium at the Conservatorio Williams, which was a very famous place for studying music and composition and all that stuff, which we mentioned earlier in other episodes. And then he went, when he was 11, to Rio de Janeiro. There was a branch of the Conservatorio Real de Lisboa. Forgive me that I don't pronounce it in Portuguese. And there he finished, when he was 16, as a professor for piano and violin, which is quite a qualification.
And then back to Buenos Aires, but with 18 years, he traveled to Europe. And it was even before the First World War.
It was 1913, and because he was 18, he was allowed to wear long trousers, so he could travel. And his travel companion was nobody else than Enrique Saborido, also a piano player, the composer of La Morocha and Felicia, so very famous tangos of this time. And they formed a couple. They went to Paris, to Antwerp, to Brussels, to London, and presented Argentine tango for the first time. It said that they were the first, and Enrique Saborido was the dancer, and Flores was the piano player who accompanied him. When the war broke out in 1915, they had to go back to Buenos Aires with the steamship Tubantia.
And then he worked as a soloist and also in orchestras like Arturo Bernstein's orchestra. He was, by the way, the first bandoneon teacher who wrote Bandoneon School. And you can see the Arturo Bernstein students, if they have the bandoneon on the knee and hardly no moving the instrument, compared to Eduardo Arolas, the tiger of the bandoneon. He was really rising up his instrument, and they are doing a big performance with the bandoneon.
Then in 1919, when he was 24, he formed his own Orchestra Tipica with guys like Luis Petrocelli, who later became head of the Orchestra Tipica Victor, and Carlos Marcucci, well known from the orchestra of Juli De Caro.
And in the age of 36, he went to a big world tourney.
It was a grand tour, starting in Montevideo, on the other side of the river, then to Rio de Janeiro, where he finished his studies, to the Canary Islands, Africa, and Europe. And then the things happened. The manager of the tour, he went away with all the money, and the poor guys had to dissolve their band and to go in different directions. And Carlos Vicente Cheroni Flores just stayed in Europe, and he stranded in Lisbon, teaching piano and voice.
And then he changed the art. He started to paint.
Yes, maybe he only added it, but he became a painter. I don't know whether he did it already in Argentina, probably. And he became quite prominent, so he had exhibitions in Spain and Italy. And he also took part in a Portuguese movie where he was an actor and also the composer of the music for that movie. And when the Spanish Civil War broke out, he was in Madrid. In 1936, he stayed in Madrid, and the Spanish Civil War broke out, and then he went to exile in Lisbon. Later, when the things calmed down, he went back to Madrid, and he died there in 1953 when he was 59.
The same age like Carlos Di Sarli died, quite early.
Yeah, it was a really bad luck and really sad for the tango world that this big talent stranded there and couldn't continue his career in Buenos Aires.
He never saw his homeland again.
No.
And with this we say goodbye from our episode 57 of Around the World in 80 Tangos. Today a great hit.
A la luz del candil, at the light of an oil lamp.
A recording of Carlos Di Sarli, 1956.
With the great Jorge Duran on vocals. A composition of Carlos Vicente Cheroni Flores. The lyric is written by Julio Navarrine.
Thank you for traveling with us through tangos we love, and we hope you enjoyed. This was
Daniela and Raimund, Tango Mundo, Berlin.
take care and stay healthy.
Bye bye.
Yo
Bye bye.
encontré dos bailas para mi patrón. Arrégleme sargento y póngame cadena, si soy un delincuente. Que me perdone Dios.